Good afternoon, bonsoir, and depending on where you are when you're listening to our webinar today, we are very happy to be with you once again to present our topic for this month, December 2025. Donc, sans nous pas étendre plus, nous comptons là avec nous et nous demandons chaque cap côté nous, quel que soit l'heure, pour partager ce temps et nous souhaiter que vous-même tout, voyez nos messages là-dedans pour vous. So I'm happy to introduce our guest speaker today, Linda Boyce, who's ready to go on. Okay, Linda, the floor is
Hi,
yours.
good morning. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, I should say.
Good afternoon.
Yes, this is the season. And as I was thinking, excuse me, kind of fighting a cold, so my voice might be doing something. Give me 1 second. Sorry. I was thinking about the season, and many times we hear, hey, ho, this is the season to be jolly. And everybody's going about and hustling and bustling and getting things done, and everybody has a smile on their face. But what happens when the season for you is not something that's jolly? And it could be maybe because you have some stresses in your life right now, things you're trying to do, or situations coming at you. Sometimes people have regrets about things that happened in the past or situations that are gone that you have no more that you can do about them because they're in your past. Or it could even be anxiety over your future. But all of those types of things can take our joy and take it on a detour down Blues Street. So today we're going to be talking about dancing on the holiday blues. And the first thing you need to know is that that really is a thing. Having the blues over the holidays when everyone else seems to be in a joyous spirit is something that can happen because we have so many situations that go on in our lives. Even just the season, going from beautiful summer days to where you're up at 8, the sun is out at 6, and then it doesn't go down till like 8 o'clock in the night, to go into a season where you're quickly going from day to dark. That does something to us in a physical level and also in a mental level. We find ourselves a lot of times being more isolated. And those holidays also can bring us to a place of remembering certain traumas in our lives, or it can remind us of certain ones that we have lost. So what we want to do is find a way to prepare ourselves so that we don't spiral down, but we're able to lift ourselves up and be intentional about dancing on and through the holiday blues. And I'm going to ask if Medisa would just give us a little icebreaker, and then we're going to jump right into some more
You know,
conversation.
Linda, I just want to say, maybe so minutes ago on the icebreaker, you said so much, et m'a envie de dire l'autre moun yo qui so dit. So, in Creole, for me to say, c'est vrai,
Thank you.
nan tan nap di holiday, nap di tan Christmas, et nous tout qui tan de temps ça, le plus souvent, nous pensons, waouh, c'est tout le monde qui est content, tout le monde déjà paré pour acheter cadeau. Et d'après tout ça que Linda dit là, c'est que c'est vrai, son temps qui relè nous à ça, mais kage en pile dans nos jodi a, qui pas paré pour ça. Soit parce que n'a songe un monde qui était là pas là, soit parce que situation la vie a bat nous, soit parce que nous senti nous isolés, soit parce que bagay yo pas même gens, bagay yo changé. Et malgré tout ça qui a passé dans temps ça, qui a râlé nous, pour t'a dit nous, pour nous cœur content, nous pas senti nous cœur content. Et c'est ça que fait jodi a, et le Linda a parlé de pour nous cap dancing on the blue, là, on a dit plus sur ça, et que quelle que soit situation qui a peut-être mettre nous dans état d'esprit de désespoir, tant Noël là, tant fête là, sont temps que nous encourager nous pour nous faire effort, pour ne pas quitter désespoir, pour ne pas quitter chagrin, envahir nous, sans nous pas profiter de temps ça, Et m'ta demandé Carole s'il voulait dire deux mots en créole too, if she would like to say something in Creole, based on what Linda said. So for our listeners to really understand what we're
Yeah.
talking about today.
Yeah, c'est pour nous songer tout que Jean-Linda dit, hein, c'est un temps qui est triste parfois. Par exemple, quand Maris dit, nous perdons du monde, parfois nous pensons à moun nan, et puis gen des fois tout, pas gen kob pour satisfaire petit et l'autre monde kap mande au cadeau, bah ça yo. So, en pile fois, c'est pas un leurre que moun content. So, Linda va encourager nous danser au lieu de nous penser de négativité et saison parce que et pas tout le monde qui est content. So, Linda, go ahead.
Yeah, Mendisa will be taking over.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Medusa. No, can't hear you.
All right, we just have to make sure the technical difficulties are in order. Hello, everyone, and happy holidays to everyone, whatever your holiday may be. So I am going to ask a two-part question, just to get us reflecting on our holidays. Some of them we might share, some of them might be a little different, and that's totally okay. But it'll just give us a moment to reflect and share. So the two-part question is, what is your favorite holiday food that you or your family typically makes around the holidays? And then the other part to that question is, we hear a lot of music. Some might be Christmas carols, some might be traditional holiday music. If there is, and you'd like to share, what song or type of genre of music that if you don't hear this kind of music, it just doesn't feel like the holiday to you. So I'll go first just to break the ice. Um, Growing up in Trinidad and even living out here in New York, my family still practice our, traditions from back home. And it was very much so you couldn't have Christmas without having a nice ham and homemade bread. And one of my other favorite things, pastels. It's wrapped up in like a green fig leaf, and it's like made with a cornmeal. It's not dough. It's like it looks like a paste when you put it on the green leaf, and then you fill it with meat and raisins, and then you cook it, and then you eat it. And so those pastels, ham, and homemade bread. Oh, and sorrel and morby. Those are the drinks. Like that's Christmas for me, no matter where I am. So I try to recreate. I'm not making the ham, but I like my mom to. So yeah, those are some of the things that I have to have it feel like Christmas. And growing up in the household, we listen to parang soca. Um, Parang music is known in Trinidad. It's the music you hear around this time of the year. It's very upbeat, and the lyrics all speak to the holiday. It's pretty much like house hopping to your neighbors, and they'll offer you food, sweet breads to eat, food, ham, pork, roast pork, things to drink, and it's really just a celebratory time to enjoy family and friends. So that parang music is what you would hear when you go to anyone's house for the most part. And that's Christmas for me. That's my holiday favorites. So I'm gonna open up the floor for anyone else to share, and I'll go on mute.
Well, what I like to eat, I grew up in the States. I spent some time in Haiti, but I was very small, so I don't really remember. But the traditions that we've kept up in the States is ham. That's one of the delicacies or whatever you want to call it. C'est une tradition la caille moi parce que m'pas élevé aux États, m'pas élevé en Haïti. Mais fait par exemple, de 1 an à 5 ans, j'étais en Haïti. But, I hold a lot of memories there. Mais, mémoire que m'gagne, que nous qu'on mangeait, c'est jambon. Um, Also, the music. I remember one song that they used to sing is Petit Papa Noël est descendu du
Descendra du ciel,
ciel. I like
n'oublie
that's the
pas mes
song.
petits souliers.
Yeah.
Ta ta
So
ta di da
that-
da.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
my memory when I was younger. But one memory I want to share when I was 6. My mom said, "Oh, you're not getting any coloring book or crayons," because that's all I wanted. And so, "Oh, you're not getting that. I can't buy it for you. We're not getting that." And of course, Christmas morning, she was playing with me. So Christmas morning, I got my crayons and my coloring book. So I was happy. Well, what else were we asking? Was that it? Just
Yeah.
those memories and the food? Well, those are my memories. That's what I remember. And we
So,
still eat ham.
men di sa mande nou, pou nou kabe partaje ki sa nou sonje nan tradisyon nou ke nou celebre fèt la, e Carol repon un peu pou nou. So, for me, I would say I grew up in Haiti and carry on, those traditions in the United States. In Haiti, when you Carol said Petit Papa Noel, that was on my mind when I remember that song Petit Papa Noel about,
Mhm.
what are you bringing for us as a gift? And with the gift in Haiti, it's like mwen sonje e pat gen papye e kado e takou papye kado we yi sit yo. Papa mte toujou gen yon se de papye jaune, takou like the stack that you have at the desk. There was no, like gift papers to write the gifts. But I could tell by the handwriting that Papa Noel was not real because I could see my father's handwriting. So, and just like you said that coloring book, and I remember, when I was young in Haiti, oh boy, my dad, we had the tirolier. Tirolier is like a piggy bank where you have to save your money. So I remember, and there were many, many things with Christmas like that when I was very young in Haiti, and we carry those traditions here a bit. But in terms of food in Haiti and here, we had the bouillon, and when you come from the north part of Haiti, it's a lot of the bouillon is more or less the same whether you're boiled. I'm saying in the northern part of Haiti, that's what I remember. So we carry that to here. So mwen sonje koman te kon bwe bouillon e le nou sot mes minuit. Because it's
Mm,
not Christmas if we don't sing minuit chrétien. Minuit chrétien, c'est l'heure solennelle. Minuit chrétien, c'est l'heure solennelle.
mm,
And when I came to the United States to learn it in Creole, that was another great things for me because I didn't know it in Creole in Haiti. I don't know if any one of you listening know it in Creole because as we were growing up, we learned most things in school in French. But the
mhm,
Creole version of Minuit Chrétien, I love it. Li dou dat
mm,
l'arrivé pou n'ale wè sauveur
mm,
e a nou jambe Bethlehem na wè li.
mm,
Li tout piti ala li povate e a sou yon tout fort li genye pou dormi. Et puis refrain dit comme ça, Noël là, c'est pour camper, c'est pour lever.
mm,
So the words in Creole were so powerful with
mm,
me mixing that French as a tradition and learning to say it in Creole, where it expressed so much the feelings
mm,
of what's happening and what the holiday represents. So between food and the songs like and so many others, that's what I remember. It's a Samsonge.
mm,
And I'm hoping that each one of you listening will take the time, prends petit temps pour dire ou même qui sont songé. Because
mhm,
not only what I remember, but over the years, as we at Fali, we do different workshop with the community. I remember like other people will remember different things based on where they grew up in Haiti. So all of you, think about what you remember.
Mm.
So let me say, with bouillon, I do like it, but I'm not a big fan of it. So there's this thing on New Year's in Haiti that's also the Haitian Independence Day. And what we eat is soup jumu. And I love soup jumus. That's my favorite. I could eat it for breakfast, lunch, dinner. That's all I do on New Year's Day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. So yeah, I love that.
Add the pate to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's so funny. I was thinking, what do I really eat on Christmas? So I know we do Christmas ham, but one thing I can remember, we always knew it was Christmas when they started. Uh, Everybody had eggnog at their house. So
Mhm.
everywhere you went, oh, would you like some eggnog? And you never drink eggnog any other time of the year.
Yeah, that's true.
All of a sudden, everybody is a fan of eggnog. So, I can remember growing up, like you were saying, with the we learned the Christmas carols that told the story of the birth of Christ, and just like one of the things, looking at how things are done today, you don't really see so much of the traditions and the history being passed along the way they were. It was every year we definitely were going to have a pageant, a Christmas pageant that told the story, and everybody was going to learn their Christmas speeches. Um, and you memorize those speeches. You didn't get up there with a paper and read a speech. You had to put the effort in to learn it and to go up and to give it with emotion and feeling. So it was it was definitely a way to help us to appreciate what the holidays meant and what they meant to us as families and as communities, because we all got a chance to bond together. Um, I know for us the tradition was we didn't get our Christmas tree. Like I'm flabbergasted they start putting Christmas stuff out in October, because we don't we're not going to get our Christmas tree until Christmas week, and it's going to be a live tree. So that's another tradition that our family has, and we love doing the Christmas tree the night before Christmas, and it's just a festive time where we get together and everybody's doing something. Somebody might be cooking something in the kitchen. Somebody might be just watching somebody put the ornaments on. But it's just uh, a nice celebratory time. And that's one of the things that happens when you get the holiday blues, because sometimes people are not in the place they were down through the years, and yet you have to find a way to go on. And it's very natural and normal to have a feeling of loss and to be blue, to have a feeling of sadness or even loneliness, sense of loss. But we have to know that at first I think we have to acknowledge this is how I'm feeling. Don't try to say I'm okay, but I appreciate what you are feeling, and then be intentional to know that the holiday blues is just a temporary bout of feeling, and we can put things in place that will help us to be able to dance our way over the blues and get into appreciating the season. So one thing we can definitely do is to tap into our faith and to know that we are created on purpose, with purpose, and that if you have a faith-based belief, that you believe God has a purpose a purpose and a plan, and that everything happens for a reason.
That's right.
And we can be grateful. The glass is always half full, and God wants to pour more in. It's not half empty, and things are being taken away. And we have to appreciate that. That's how that life is. What it is. We are going to have things that we don't necessarily want to happen to us. But the Lord will give us the strength and the wisdom to carry through. So, I don't know, how do we cope with holiday blues in this group? Anybody have a methodology that they use?
Well, my go-to is always take a walk. Don't stay home and think and fester, let it fester. Paret la caillou. Ou supposé sorti al respirer air en dehors. And always have a go-to person that you can call, that you know will respond to your call. Rele un moun, rele un zami, un moun ko konen, ki toujou la pou. Don't stay and do nothing and just think about what's going, your sadness. Just keep it moving, as they say.
But also, I think just like Linda said, our faith can be very helpful. And just like before, when I mentioned about my father, when I remember this, remember that. So anybody listening, you remember things that are no longer here. But it would be great if you get to appreciate what it was. Ou sonje li, mais c'est pas pour crier seulement, c'est pour capoter la joie pour vous. Parce que même l'heure que ou t'es timoun, ou t'es gen 10 ans, ou t'es gen 20 ans, ou t'es gen 30 ans, ou baga qui t'est rivé, li parle là encore, ça te pote pour vous, toujours pote la joie. The joy that you had when this was happening in the past still can be present. And that's why we're talking about dancing on the blues. Li bon pour qu'à reconnaître que, oh, ça fait mal, gade j'aime songe maman, gade j'aime pas Haïti encore. Because for many of us who live our countries, and we think about what we used to do in Haiti, and we wish many times we could be there and do it. It may not be the same way, whether it's being in Haiti, going back to your country of origin, or being with your family, or even if you're in the United States, we move from state to states. So we are not with the same people. But ça pas veut dire que parce que nous déplacer pour nous voulons recréer exactement ça le hier, li capoter douleur pour nous. Mais nous continuer chercher l'autre façon pour créer other ways of living and be part of a family, be part of a community. Like for me who's talking right now, I not only think about Haiti, I think about New York as I became a Florida Yorker in Florida. So things are definitely not the same. Because just here today, we said, oh, those people are putting ice snowmen in front of the house. Where's the snow? In Florida. But it's again, we laugh about it, but in reality, the snowman could be anywhere, okay? Just this a decoration. And it's not to cry over, but to live it in a different way. Donc, c'est ça qui fait que moi dis, quel que soit côté nous y, et dans le moment ça, que c'est dans le temps holiday, n'a pas songé famille qui pas là, ou bien pays, ou bien des changements qui arrivaient. Il y a un pile monde qui là, t'es qu'on a un bon petit monde, like there were all these children in the house. You were excited to buy gifts for all of them. And now you're saying, I only have 2 people to buy gifts. It's okay. Because it takes time. Like Linda was saying, it's intentional. C'est bon bagay qui rive comme ça. C'est ça qui fait que le nous fait konvèsasyon sa yo, n'a demandé pour faire un déplacement de soi, pour, avec une intention pour qu'à continuer à vivre. Parce que tant ça qui est en vacances, tant holiday, il capote en pile tristesse, comme ça tout nous qu'à continuer à gagner la joie.
Yeah, and you have to draw on the good memories that it left. My mother passed when I was 15, but I still tell my grandchildren the story about the coloring book. So I draw on the positive memories that I have. And like you, Linda, my mother used to wait till the day before Christmas to go buy that tree in Manhattan when we lived in Manhattan. So you keep those memories alive. They were good. So when you feel that sadness, you draw on the positive memories that you have of past holidays.
And
I
we create new memories.
yeah.
Able to create new memories.
I wrote that down in my notebook. Because we're talking, I hear like everyone talking about memories that we all grew up with. So traditions that were passed down. But some people who may not have had the same experience growing up may say, well, my family we don't have a tradition. So definitely, yes, create your own. If you're on social media, type it in your search bar, holiday traditions, Christmas traditions, Kwanzaa, anything that you would like to celebrate. And don't be afraid to mix and match. If you're someone who is not of one denomination, it is totally okay. I'm giving you permission to mix your traditions. It's okay. I won't be mad at you. It just makes it more fun. It makes it unique. It helps your family and your friends to potentially be exposed to different cultures and different traditions, different ideas, ways of doing things that will just make it like more fun and something to look forward to, like, what's so and so gonna be up to next. And it would just share that joy in a different way. So it's definitely a great thing to continue tradition, but creating your own is something beautiful in that also that will live on now after you. Now, the grandkids and great grands might talk about, oh yeah, I remember growing up, and now that's gonna become a tradition amongst your friends or your family. And one more thing I wanted to add, since we're talking about dancing on the holiday blues, I feel like music. I can't picture a quiet holiday. It doesn't matter which holiday it is. For me, that means noise, good chaos.
Yeah.
Family and friends talking, music going, the TV in the background with a parade on, um, in the kitchen cooking, children playing, the music blasting, feeling like you're having a house party. Like that, to me, that is what would uplift my spirit if I were feeling down in the holidays. And there's all different types of music, no matter which holiday it is that you're celebrating. You could put on something that you just like to listen to, or the holiday version of the genre of music to help create that vibe in your home or in the car while you're driving, or put your AirPods or your headphones on and be jamming out to your own music, being in your own world if that's where you are. Because not everyone has a big family or a big friend group, and just create a vibe of your own. So that's a really big thing that I wanted to share that can be done to help counter feeling down.
And Mandisa, when you said created and wherever we are, it takes me back about 3 years ago. My children and my niece decided that we would be traveling for Christmas, spending Christmas and New Year's at St. Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean. And the tradition, music was there, and it was different for Christmas. And we were staying at a hotel, and but we had a kitchenette. And January 1st, we were going to be there too. So my daughter said, "Mommy, what happened to the soup? How are we going to get the soup?" I said, "We're in the Caribbean. We're going to get the soup." They said, "How are we going to get the soup?" So we were there like 2 weeks before New Year's. So I said, "Don't worry." I spoke to the hotel chef. I spoke to everybody. They went to the marketplace. I didn't even have to go. They bought me
Oh,
everything I needed.
wow.
And we had the soup.
So you brought the tradition to a different country.
Yeah, we did the soup and we had the soup. We didn't have pate. So this is to say, when Linda said the word intentional, I'm repeating again, nothing is going to happen by itself. Chaque so gen pou fè, c'est pour penser, pour agir sous li. Pas penser crier, mais penser pour comment ka changer ça. Parce que li pas facile, mais li possible. So it's really what we decide to do with it. And for us, I want to shout out to social worker in actions, as all of us here, social worker license and social worker interns, we are about working with families and also working with communities. And we learn every day, how do we put in practice what we're learning for ourselves? And how do we make the human body feeling good and dealing with life? Nou pa nan bay manti, sou pa sent ou bien, pran pos ou bien, ou très bien. Non, 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 non. Faut qu'on koto ye, ki sak nan posibilite ou, quel que soit koto ye a, gon bagay ko ka fe. Ou gen wa gen yon moun ki don sak, oh, I wish I could buy a car for Christmas. You may not be able to buy a car for Christmas, but there's something you could give to yourself. Buy yourself a gift. Because I remember one woman, one time we were discussing how many of us would get dolls during Christmas. And she said for when she grew up in Haiti, her mom could not buy the dolls. She made the dolls with toile, with material. And she said she remembered now she's able not only to have dolls and give to her family of a different life. She said she always remembered that doll because I can't remember the coloring book because those things were giving with love. And even if you didn't have it, you saw what was going around you that even when you were young, that make you felt sad. Sou sanje so ka vin tris anko, jodi a di ki sa m ka bay tet mwen. Ou bien ki sa m ka e don lot genyen. Non seulement pour même, mais c'est comme ça leur partager. You share with the community, we share with someone else. You're gonna feel the joy because we said Christmas, and for those of us who are Christian, Jesus is the gift, and the gift is love. We can share it in many ways, not only by our memories to help other people live it too, but we also can create memories, yes, with whatever we have.
And Marius, you mentioned, the community. Go and feed the homeless. Go and volunteer and do something. And when you do something selfless like that, it makes you feel so good. I used to take my kids when they were younger. We used to volunteer, even not even when they were kids, but as adults. My daughter always continues. She'll go Thanksgiving. She went with my grandson, with her nephew, and they volunteered to feed the homeless. So there's always something that you can do and give back to the community if you're feeling alone.
That's certainly. I'm sorry.
Talking about music, I always have like so many.
Sure
One
how
time
this
I hear
technology
you,
is working here.
I hear you guys, like so many things go to
All
my
right. I
mind.
was gonna say, you know what? We are all gifts. And when we see ourselves as giftings that the Lord has put and made available to be a blessing to someone, then we can share the gift of us with someone. Sometimes you never know how much a smile will mean or a listening ear. So being intentional about saying, let me go see someone who maybe I haven't seen in a while, or pick up the phone and just say, how are you doing? And how's the holidays? Sharing yourself, as you were saying, Carol, it's just it's reciprocal. When you share your goodness with others, you feel good and
Yeah,
you feel
absolutely.
fulfilled. And I think that's intentional on God's part, that we were really made to be in his image and share his goodness. And so that definitely will help you to dance on the blues. And I'm going to jump right in on Mendisa's music because music will do it for you. Uh, Make a playlist. Make a couple of playlists for your moods. And when you know that you're going to be trudging down some streets that may be a little dark because they're not things that you're necessarily happy that happened in your life, but uh, you are a survivor, you are a conqueror, you have the joy of life in you. Get that list together so you can just plug it in. I have a couple of, like I have a song that says "Shake Yourself Loose," and I used to have it on like just repeat. and I just keep shaking myself loose of everything that binds me. Get up and do the David dance. That was yeah. By the time that song was over, I was I was hyped, and so we can do that for ourselves. And as Maurice was saying, it just takes a little bit of forethought and intentionality to put some things in place, for those times when, maybe you would it'd be easy to sit down and start spiraling from one thought to the next thought to the next thought. And before you know it, you don't want to move, you don't necessarily want to talk to anybody, and you're on Blue Street. But we don't want to stay on Blue Street. We want to dance on our way to a happy holidays experience. And so, um, any other suggestions for dancing on those blues?
I just wanted to jump in because we should educate. And as a part of all that we're talking about with the blues, just putting a name to it so that everyone listening and watching will know that seasonal depression is a thing, right? In our Caribbean community, we talked a few more episodes earlier on about how the Caribbean community typically does not acknowledge mental health, or just overlooks it. And that's just part of the history of how things have been. But what we are doing is breaking these cycles by speaking on these things, putting a name to things, and just bringing awareness and education. So as we're having this conversation, it doesn't mean to say, oh, okay, now you have a diagnosis of depression. But this does show up a lot in a lot of people around this time of year. It doesn't matter what culture, what skin color, what age bracket. At some point, someone may feel this overwhelming sadness this time of the year. And it can be from an array of reasons that we all share today. It could be a loss of loved ones. It could be feeling less than because you haven't accomplished as much as you would like to at the end of the year. It could be fear of what's to come with this new year that's approaching. It could be loss of identity if you used to live in a country and now you live here and you don't know how to fit in and wherever you live and the traditions that are here and surrounding you, and it will make you feel down. It could be the stress of I want to buy my kids everything on their toy list, but the finances are not financing. It could be anything, and you're gonna feel sad. You're gonna feel like I don't even want to be around people. I don't want nobody calling my phone. I don't want to talk. It's not a happy holidays. Just leave me alone. And that can be seasonal depression. But it gets dark, and you just feel like I just want to go home and lay in bed. And if you keep doing that and doing that and doing that and isolating, it can turn in to that depression and that depressive episode. So when we work with clients who come in and they express these type of feelings, and way of being around this holiday, the professionals will know what that is. But when you see that in a friend or a family member, or you acknowledge that within yourself, this is where you're like, okay, I gotta counter this. I gotta take all of what I'm hearing today on this episode and use it to not fall into this depression because I don't want to have that. I don't want to own that. I don't want to be that way. And then you use all the tips that we're giving you today to plan for that. And if you realize, damn, like every time around the holidays, I do start feeling like this. Now you know you can give it a little try some things out now. But for next year, around September, October, before Thanksgiving and Christmas start rolling in and all the other holidays that are celebrated around this time, this is where you gear up. That's the time to do it before, like Linda's mentioned a few times. This is the intentional preparation. Don't wait until you're going down the rabbit hole to say, well, let me go find a song to make me happy. I mean, it's okay if you're already there, go find that song, but being intentional, you have to prepare ahead of time, right? And you can have a trusted person, like Carol mentioned, where they can help you figure it out. Like, I already know I'm gonna feel this way. Can you help me make a playlist? Can we plan a date, like a lunch date or a dinner date, and we'll meet up, or it's okay to invite yourself. Like, hey, what are you guys doing for the holidays? Got room for one? That's totally okay, but this is all the intentional preparation. So that's where all of this is coming from. So when you're listening, soak it all in with that in mind. It's a reason why we're doing this. We didn't just pick this topic. We wanted to help our people gear up, be prepared, and survive the sadness that sometimes comes with the joyous holiday. That's my 2 cents.
Fabian, anything for us? Is there anything you want to share with us? Fabian, anything? You good?
Yeah, so again, about the music, it's good to listen to uplifting music, like positive music. And what I listen to every day, not just on the holidays, is gospel music, and it's really positive. It helps you realize that there's more to life and everything will be okay. So also during the holidays, listening to Christmas music, that's uplifting because it tries to make you feel happy and excited about the holidays to come. So you can listen to music.
Yeah. As I listened to you and also when Mendiça was talking, some of it went to my mind, is like how each one of us have to learn what brings us joy and how to balance the feelings of sadness and joy. And depending on your age and your circumstances. I talked before about like when I was a kid in Haiti, but as I'm listening to you and I'm thinking about when I first came to the United States, where the Christmas, I wasn't yet in the American life. And Christmas for my family was just going to church. But as a youngster in my 20, 22, 21, I didn't want to just go to church and sing Minuit Chrétien. I wanted to go to some parties. Okay? And I gotta tell you, things we did I said, oh, we were taking care of mental health, balancing. We would go to midnight mass. I'm going to confess for all the priests and all of you listening. We would go to midnight mass, take half of it, sneak out, and go to a party. Okay? When I say that, I'm not telling any one of you to do that. But as I remember it wasn't just the minuit chrétien I wanted. I wanted to get some taboo, some scatcha, and danse, all the other kind of music. Like when you were talking before about soca and everything, and when we went to St. Kitts, I wasn't in Haiti, I wasn't in New York, but I was with music. Okay? So it's around the carnival time in St. Kitts and Nevis. So music, whether you're a Christian, like right now in this time where we're preparing for Christmas, as a Christian, Advent music, whether I take it in French, in Creole, in English, is part of my repertoire. Christmas come, is going to change. So what we're saying to you, each one of you listening, figure out what gives you joy when you're down and balance it out. Music is a big piece. Like just like Carol mentioned before, you could take a walk. There are many things we could do. Maybe it's one of you gonna get the coloring book, you know? And I say that, I remember when my daughter was sick, she had all her coloring book of different colors. She was like really, and she wasn't young, she was already in her late 30s. She had a coloring book, she would be coloring all the time. So we have to we asking you, please think about yourself. Ask yourself, what make me happy? Not someone else to make you happy. What make me happy? When you know that, you will realize that a lot of time, it's how we learn to balance it. Because every one of us here on this platform and you listening, life happens, brings the up and downs, right and left. We don't know where we're going some days. But we believe that with the God-given spirit we have and the people around us, just like we give, we receive, we can do better. So we dance on the blues. And the blues are not going to be just for the holidays, but especially around the holidays. And sometimes for somebody, it could be your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
You used to do this, you don't do that. Because the traditions, and when we're talking about us being from different part of the Caribbeans, there is a lot of commonality, but there are also some differences that we need to acknowledge and see how we can recreate or create our own traditions to continue to dance on the blues.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you said about not only the holidays is really crucial. It's all different seasons and days that trigger things. For example, Carol, you talked your mother passed when you were 15. My mother passed when I was 10. And so Mother's Day has never been the exact same. I mean, so different days can have different impacts on you and trigger a reaction where you feel melancholy and you feel a sense of loss. And then just looking at life and how situations are going on locally, nationally, internationally can have you feeling, some type of way and not in a good way. But we want to be able to kind of tap into the positivity that's going to allow us to be productive for ourselves and for each other. Um, because what happens if one person is negative and they tend to kind
Uh-oh.
Technology,
Technical
yeah,
difficulty.
it's frozen. Yeah, I will take the opportunity while it's frozen to say, like anyone listening, if you need to reach out to us, you can always text us at 516-524-6723 if you need some kind of advice, some support. Because we are in New York, but we're in the our family is in New York, but we have contact in different places. And with the world we live today, we do a lot of virtual help. So if you're in need, don't
oh,
hesitate.
we're back, I think.
Okay, okay. I use the
Did
opportunity
everyone
to
else have
emphasize.
technical difficulties?
No, because you're
Oh,
all in the same place.
yeah. It,
Howard and I were fine, but I use the
okay.
opportunity to give the
It
phone number
disconnected
and
and
people can
reconnected,
text
so
in case when they're listening, they need some kind of support. I reaffirm that a family is in New York, but we can do some support even online. So again, the number is 516-524-6723. If you text us, somebody will get back to you to talk to you on whatever subject that it is. Donc, encore nous disent que tu as besoin de, ou tu as senti que dans sortant de là, gon bagay qui dérange ou tu as même partagé avec yon moun qui t'entende ou, nous là, dans le numéro 516-524-6723. Ou kap texte nous, dans message ou bien dans WhatsApp. Sou intéressés, nous là pour vous. Because we're learning to dance on the blues.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
I also would like to say that sometimes
I
we do need to take it to the next level because if you see that it's not a temporary situation, sometimes we know where our feelings are coming from, but if it's lingering and you feel you can't shake it, it's good to reach out and see if you can talk to someone that can counsel us. So what you're saying, Maurice, is so important that there are systems out here that we're not out here alone, and that's one of the things that contributes to the blues is that feeling of being alone and being not enough and not having enough and not not having what you need. But one thing we can say, we can get what we need. We just might have to figure it out. Yeah.
And,
As we're
and
skipping across the floor, we're figuring out, okay, what's my next step?
And it's okay to reach out for professional help as well. As you said, Linda, if it's lingering, reach out for professional help. I mean, there are so many options. I don't know if I don't have the number with me, but NAMI, NAMI, is an outlet that anyone can call and they can talk to you and listen to you. And if they feel you need further help, they will send help to you. So c'est une organisation mondiale, well, not mondial, but in
États-Unis.
national in the United States. It's called NAMI, NAMI. All you have to do is put that on the internet, on your research, Google, and you'll get a number. It's usually an 800 number. So like you said, Linda, we are not alone if you feel that the issue is lingering and you need professional help. It's okay to reach out.
While you were speaking, Carol, I looked up the NAMI number. So it's 1-800-950-6264. And they said you can contact them Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's Eastern time. Yes. And again, the number is 1-800-950-6264. And there's also a suicide prevention hotline, 988. If things are feeling extremely dark, you can also call 988 at any time.
Thank you for that. Yeah,
And I also
okay, so why don't we kind of wrap it up and talk about how we are personally going to dance on these holiday blues this year. So I got a whole lot of different things on my plate, but I'm planning on dancing my way through the blues. I'm gonna put my playlist in place. I'm gonna make a few dates for myself. If I take myself, I like going out with myself sometimes. I know exactly how to treat me. So I'm planning on connecting, calling on some people that I haven't spoken to in a while, and reconnecting, and just of course connecting with my faith during the Christmas season, celebrating the birth of Christ and who He is in my life, and so that should keep me pretty much grounded on with my dancing shoes on.
Well, my future sister-in-law, she observes Kwanzaa ever since they started Kwanzaa. And I participate, and my grandchildren, my daughter, we go to her house and we do Kwanzaa. And everybody reads their part, everybody gets a chance to speak. So that's one of the things that I'm doing. And of course, my grandchildren, they already came and put up the Christmas tree and the ornaments. So, and of course, prayer. It never leaves me. We pray together as a family. So and my music. I know some people don't like to hear the Christmas music, but I have it. As soon as Christmas music comes out, I start playing.
Yeah, me too. I have my music. I have so many ones that I love because you have to remember when you said some people don't like it, it's the only season that they really have a deeper meaning for me. You can hear
Yeah.
them during any time, but I realized again as we talking here, and I'm going back in different comments that were made over the years, and one that came back to me in terms of my music when I was working in the lab. In the lab you work by yourself, and it's Christmas time, and I'm working, and I would be singing in where I was sitting, and people could say, Maurice, what's going on? What are you saying? And I said, I'm singing. Yeah, but we don't understand it. I said, it's my song. So there were different French song or a Creole song. Once in a while I would do the English song, but I was really doing my song. There was one called Nouvelle agréable sauveur enfant nous est né. It's a great news. A savior is born. And that was a song. And it wasn't just the words. It was the warmth that it brought me. And up to these days, I listen to, like I said, right now I'm in Advent song. Okay? I asked Alexa this morning, Alexa, some Advent song.
Yeah.
Alexa gave me Christian. I said, I didn't ask you for Christian song. I asked for Advent song. And then I said, Maurice, don't bother Alexa. So I went and I got my iPad and got my Advent songs, you know?
Yeah.
So
Everybody's frozen.
yes, I think that it's the office, at the office. So this is to
Okay.
say music is always a part, whether it's a Christian religious music or some music you
Mhm.
used to hear when when you were young, or some music you like now. Music is a
Mhm.
big deal, and naturally you'll be going to church and spending time with the family and also be part of the community because
Yeah.
being alone is important. Knowing what the solo dates, being with other people, being with your family, with community. And if you don't have all that in your life, create. Be ready to be somewhere and somebody's waiting to talk to you. I
Mm.
encourage you who's listening, if you feel shy or you're not sure that you go somewhere, you're going to judge what people are going to say, don't think about them, think about you.
Yeah.
How are you? Greet. You'll be surprised how many people you will talk to, whether you go into the supermarket, anywhere on the
Mm.
street, you know? There's a place where you could meet people naturally. I'm not talking, and all of us have to be mindful of what's real. This is not something that is good, like you just go do this and that. Find out in your surrounding what can be done and promise yourself to do at least one thing this year and evaluate it and see if you can repeat it again. Something maybe you haven't done that you wanted to do that will still
Mhm.
take you out of the blues and you can dance with the negative that comes. And for those of you who are already very happy, spread the joy.
Mhm.
Spread the
Yeah.
joy. Okay? Spread it because it's worth it. It will go to somebody else.
Mm. I think we lost everyone, Maris.
No,
No, no, we're back.
Oh,
We're just
you're back?
nodding and agreeing.
Okay.
So, yep, we agree.
The office is on the blues.
Yes.
The office.
Well, on that note, happy holidays to everyone. However you celebrate your
Yeah.
loved ones. Happy holidays.
Celebrate joy.
And remember to share with others. That's very, very important. Share with others. And by sharing, you also will enjoy the benefits, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.